right? So we have been looking at the roots of the Hebrew verb roots, how we can understand the verb system from the roots. That's what we have been learning in the last class. So when you look at these letters here, these sets of letters here, use Zayin, Kaf, and Resh. So if you have already studied the vocabulary, you would know that it is remember, right? Remember. So these roots, this root tells the idea of remembering. So you can say to remember. That is the idea. Here we have Ayin, Maim, and Dalet. So if you have read, you would have understood that it is stood, right? Stood, or the verb root says it is stand. Maim, Lamed, and final Kaf. Rule. And Sheen, Maim, and Resh to God. So whether if even without vowel, it still has the meaning. So you can always understand in that way. You can always learn in that way. Try to learn the roots. So that will save much of your time. Okay. So once you learn this main Lamed Kaf is kind of telling you the idea of ruling. You can from there you can develop further. Melek is king, and I think Malkut, if I'm not wrong, we have learned it tells us about the idea of kingdom, right? Kingdom. Yeah. Let me check it. It should be kingdom. Well, yeah, let us come back to our class and let us see a few of things, and we will close it as I already promised you. So this afternoon, we will look a few more concepts, a few more grammatical concepts. So the and in Hebrew. So we have a lot of conjunctions in Hebrew, right? I mean in English. So likewise, even in Hebrew, we have conjunction and. So it is actually represented with, what is this? It may look like final noun, but please bear with me. This is wow. Okay, this is wow. So wow actually acts as a conjunction in the conjunction and in Hebrew. So if you know this vocabulary, you know that. What is that? Av. What is av? Av is father. So usually you will have a conjunction like this, a vav and a seva. So now how do we translate this? And a father. Okay, so that is how this word is translated, and a father. So yeah, usually we will have vowel, the conjunction vav here, and you know the pronunciation. How do we spell this vav? Is like it is usually comes. We have to. So when we pronounce with seva, it's like ve'av, right? Ve'av. That's how we pronounce. And in some occasions, it also come with a vav with a surat. Okay, so then you may have to pronounce it as woo. Okay, pronounce it as woo, and yeah, that is one thing that I wanted to tell you this afternoon about wow conjunction. Okay, wow conjunction. There are a lot to learn about wow conjunction, but for us, I think this is more than enough for our basic level, right? So that is about wow conjunction. So whenever you see a wow before any vocabulary, you can put it as and, okay? And the next is from in Hebrew. The word from, okay? So I think in the beginning of this chapter, when we were discussing about the vocabularies, we have already seen mean. Okay, mean is from a main and a final noun. Mean is from. So let us see some examples how this mean is used in the how the idea of from is used in the Hebrew. So usually we know this, right? Habayit. Habayit. What is this? Habayit. We know this is a definite article because we have a patak here and we have a dagesh here. So together this makes a definite article. So what is that? Bayit, house, right? The house. Habayit, the house. And if you supply mean here, so how do we translate together? This from the house. Okay, from the house. So this is what happens when there is a definite article. But if there is no definite article, let's say if you want to say from a house, so how the Hebrew comes? So usually we will not have mean and say. Instead, we will only have me. Okay, me bayit. Me bayit means from a house. So the mean can come. It can be either mean, that is also from, and sometimes it can come as me and also a dagesh near to that. That is also again what from. So also sometimes it can also come as may. Okay, may. That is also again from. So this the idea of from can occur in three different ways. So for example, one more example, you may ask at what occasions this comes. That comes in only by that idea we can learn only by reading Hebrew often. So when you start reading, you will get to understand. So apart from the main vocabulary, the rest of the things you have to separate it. Okay, so when you try to read any Hebrew letter, try to separate each and every segment, separate into segments, so that you will understand what this means, what that means. So, for example, so what is this? Meis, right? Meis. So here we know this is is, right? This is is. So what is that? Man. a man. There is no definite article. May is. So now we can easily understand the idea of may suggests that it is from. So it means from a man. From a man. All right. So yeah, that is something. And there are also another case. Please note it down. These are some different cases, but here you will get to see one another case. Yeah, maybe I will erase it and I will write it here. Mean Hamelek. Mean Hamelek. What is that? From the king. From the king. Hamelek. Okay, mean is from. Ha is the. Melek is king. Mean Hamelek from the king. But this can also come in another way. May Hamelek. May Hamelek. So again, this is still from the king. So there will be always an exception for any rule in Hebrew. So it is we have to be very conscious about the vocabularies and how we divide. As you know, even when you are reading, right? Even when you are reading, what we often do, we try to divide in syllables, right? So even while you are reading, when you are trying to understand in different syllables, I like Mehamelek. So when you divide in that way, you can easily find out what does it mean. So each and every word has a meaning. So that is how you read. So that will help you better understand Hebrew sentences. Right. So the next thing. So we have learned how and is used, and we learned how from is used, and let's see how it, the word it in Hebrew. Okay. The word it. So we have already learned who. Okay, what is who? Who is he? Who is he? I told you. Who is he? And he is she. He. However, these who and he also can be used for it. Okay, used for it. Sometimes, if it is necessary in the translation sentence, Hebrew uses even who and she to mention it. Okay, so you don't have to be always trying to translate in as he or she. Look at the context. And according to that, you have to translate it. For example, yeah, some sentences are really big. I don't know what to do right now. Yeah, no worries. Let us write it down. Habayit. So even while I'm writing, try to translate it. Okay. Habayit. Habayit. Ahmad. Habayit Ahmad. Vehu. Okay. Look it carefully. Vehu. Vehu Samar Mishpakha. Mishpakha. Right? So, Habayit Ahmad Vehu Samar Mishpakha. So, you should, while just reading through, you can understand Habayit, the house. Ahmad stood. Okay, the house stood. Yeah, the maybe not in, we don't know what is the context, but the house stood. Vehu Shamar Mishpaka. What is that? Vehu Shamar Mishpaka. So here this is and wow conjunction. Who? You know, we already told it can be translated as either he or whether he or it. So here we know the word bayit. What does it mean? Bayit is house. House is a masculine pronoun. I mean masculine noun. So to compensate to this masculine noun, here we see a masculine pronoun is used. So here instead of he, we supply it. Okay. So the house stood and it protected a family. And it protected a family. The house stood and it protected a family. Right? So this is how it is used. At the same time, yeah, we can take a feminine noun. Then you see the change. Yeah. Instead of house, we can just change it. Yeah, you can say so. What is that? Ruth. Ruth. Now Ruth. So now because of that, we know that here the pronoun has to change. And see who is he and you know he is she. So it but you know, see carefully here because this is a feminine, so even the verb pattern has to change. Remember yesterday we talked about that. So how that here we have Ahmad. So if that is feminine, it should be Amda. Okay, Amda. Ruth Amda with he. Again, here we need to change the verb pattern. Samra. Okay. So Ruth Amda Vehu Samra Mispakha. Okay. Ruth Amda Vehi. Did I say Vehu? It must be mistaken. Let me read it again. Ruth Amda Vehi Samra Mispaka. So Ruth stood and yeah, maybe it is actually it should be she protected a family. And yeah, my total purpose was not to say this. Actually, there should be something else. Yeah, maybe what else is there? Yeah, instead of that, we can even put okay. What is that? Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim stood and now we don't have to say she, and it protected a family. Okay, yeah, this may not make any sense, but just to understand the Hebrew sentence structure, Jerusalem stood and it protected, and it protected a family. So see the changes happening here. So when there is a feminine noun, the verb associated with the noun should also have the feminine pattern. So that is how the Hebrew language. So just by looking at the verb associated with the noun, you can understand what kind of noun that is. So what gender is the noun? Well, so that's what we are going to conclude now for this class. So we finished up to this point. So thank you all for your time and contribution to the class.